Hello, everyone. Welcome to Popcast on the Rocks, episode 115. We're a podcast that talks about pop culture things that interest us, and sometimes there's whiskey. My name is John, and I am joined as always by Andrea. How is it going?
Good. It's going so good. Apparently, I can blur in and out of motion. I don't know. Maybe I've developed superpowers.
They're
It would be
gonna
very
people
appropriate for our topic tonight.
TV settings at home. Yeah.
Whoosh,
hmm
whoosh. This is very fun,
You,
Ellen. I'm enjoying this.
we look pretty normal on my screen. So, but you're right. Superpowers, if you have developed, that will make sense for later for sure, because we'll be
Y'all
talking
saw
about
it
the boy.
here,
Yep.
live streamed.
Mhm. Taking that V over there. I know what your drink of choice is for the week.
Just V.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, so later we'll talk about the boys and we'll get spoiler about that. Latter half of the show. Before that, we have quite a few news stories to cover and
Yeah.
see what's been happening in our weeks and talk about drinks first though. And then before you jump into that though, Renato's in
Oh,
chat
sure.
and
Hey,
thanks for joining
how
us
are
here.
ya? Been a while. Good to have you back,
hmm
sir.
Well, Renato, if you're drinking anything tonight, let us know.
Yeah,
Maybe you've
sure,
aligned with
sure.
one of the holidays.
I mean, there's many to choose from. So you could be celebrating August 4th, White Wine Day. John?
Nope.
Yes? No? Maybe so? Okay. Moving right along to your next choice, International Beer Day. Happy August 5th for that.
Nope.
No? Okay. All right. Even poker face. I like it. All right. Now you have a trio of holidays to celebrate on our next day, August 6th. We have I mean, this is kind of like a whole like beer wine theme going on for the most part here. So we
Yeah.
have IPA day, we have mead day, and then just throwing it all up in the air, mixing it up. We have root beer float day, which I will not lie sounds delicious right now. Any of
That's
the
what I
three.
thought. I am
Yeah?
doing part of one of those. I
Ooh,
have
part of one of those.
1919 root beer. I have no ice
Nice.
cream to make a float.
Sad day.
So,
Sad day. But you got
yeah.
in the spirit. I appreciate it.
Yeah. And Renato is also on the like no alcohol front here at the moment with coconut water. I see.
Nice. Well, cheers to no alcohol tonight because I have regular water.
Wow.
I know,
Wow.
I know. Mhm.
Okay.
Nope,
Okay.
unfortunately, my body has betrayed me. I have picked up a bug of some sort somewhere. Don't worry, everybody, it's not COVID. I tested like 20 million times. But yeah, no alcohol for me today.
I was worried you were going to give it to me through the screen via the internet.
It's coming.
Yeah.
No, it's sad. There's some fun days here, and not even talking about today yet, which would have been, I think, one of my favorites to do, International Scottish Gin Day. We were just
Okay.
talking, I think, the last episode about the merits of a good, like, just straight
Yeah.
up old fashioned G&T, how they do it in England,
Mhm.
where you can kind of like mix and match, pick your poison on what gin you want, what tonic you want, so you can really get creative. So I was
Yeah.
kind of looking forward to that, but sadly not in the cards for me this week.
Okay. Yeah. Well, last week I also spilled on myself on my first drink, and I just did the same now. So I don't know if that showed up on camera, but got root beer on my shirt now.
Ah,
Um,
love it. You've been
but I
baptized.
also, yeah, splash. Um, I also have, it's not Scotch gin, but it is just
What is
Scotch.
it?
I
Just
thought, okay,
scotch.
I wouldn't show up dry
A little
tonight.
half and half. I dig
Yeah,
it.
so I'm splitting the difference here on all these things.
I like
Oh yeah.
it.
hmm
When you do have 2
Um,
drinks, you always have, like, fun, different, like, random stuff that you're doing. Like,
yeah,
the other
okay.
week when you were like,
Yeah,
"Hey, I'm gonna have, like, whiskey and, like, butterscotch and, like, this other thing," and I was
yeah.
just like, "Okay." I love
Gotta
it.
make it work, you know? I
Yeah.
don't live across the street from a liquor store.
True,
I gotta
true.
make
You
it
gotta
work.
get creative.
Yep. Oh, Renato's asking what kind of scotch. It's actually the same kind as I had last week. Um,
Oh, sure.
but it's this Polly's cask.
I love that
Yeah.
it's just right
That's right.
there for you.
I
Hey,
know, just keeping it in here now. I'm like doing my taxes and like, oh, just need a pull of the
right? Need
scotch.
a little nip of the bottle
Yeah.
there.
Yep. Double barrel age, Alexander Murray and Company Poly cask, Highlands single malt Scotch whiskey. There's so many like names and things on here. So, but yeah, it's good. I defiled it last week, you know, with the butterscotch
Yeah.
and like
Yes.
Coke or whatever. So this week is just neat. So
All right.
yeah.
Good for you.
hmm So all right. Well, cheers with the water.
Cheers. My cool
um,
cup.
while we're going through our weeks and stuff, Renato, you were saying that you were at the Chicago Comic Con.
Oh,
So
cool.
if you have some highlights, some lowlights, or something like
Yeah.
that, just throw them in the chat, and
Do you see
as we
anybody
can
fun?
kind of bring them up, then we'll try to work them in here.
For
Um,
sure.
but while that's going, how's your week been, Andrea?
Been good, been busy. Gotten back into my kind of late summer sports. So been busy there playing some softball and volleyball. Um a new puppy. What?
Yeah, that's right. That's exciting.
So
Yep.
she's settling in very well. She was a little nervous girl at first, but I mean, who isn't, going to a new home and stuff like that. So she's finally starting to settle in. Everett is just like delighted, just chases her around yelling, pup, pup, which is
That's
pretty
great.
hilarious and funny. So yeah, so we're doing good there, kind of adjusting to each other. But yeah, as far as entertainment things go, I started a few new things this week. I started a new old thing. So I started reading Knife of Dreams by Robert Jordan, which is like the next book in the series that I've been putting off. Um, because Crossroad of Twilight ended just so boringly. But Knife of Dreams opened well. It was like major character action, plot action, like stuff is happening now. So was very pleased with that. So stay tuned. I may like do some reviewing as I get close to the end and I get back into that and we get towards the second season of Wheel of Time. I'll just probably have my head in all things Robert Jordan. I started the webtoon that we've been talking about last week, Solo Leveling. Just got like 2 episodes in, so I'm not terribly far at all.
Yep.
But I mean, 2 good episodes so far, and you know, nothing's like turning me off. So excited to keep going and kind of see the magic as it happens.
Maybe it
For,
replaces our the cliff in our
yeah,
weekly, you know?
yeah, I'd be good with that. I mean, obviously that's done now, so
Yep.
we'll be talking about that in just a minute. But yeah, it'd be a good one to replace it. In other webtoons news, I don't normally like share a whole bunch about like the kind of ongoing webtoons that I read, but I did want to point out this webtoon is insanely popular. Lore Olympus just came to its second season finale, and damn, what a finale it was. It was amazing. Even just like the handful of episodes leading up to the finale were just like so, so, so good. Major props. If you've not gotten into Lore Olympus, do it. It's really, really good. And it only gets better.
Okay.
So just
Cool.
saying. I know it's like wildly popular, but if you're like one of those
Yeah,
people who hasn't heard
it
of it,
is.
go read it. It's really great. And then for other things that I've done, not too much outside of what we're going to talk about tonight. Just watched The Boys and read The Cliff and Maybe Meant to Be.
Okay. All right.
That's my week.
Nice. Well, you know what you didn't bring up, and Renato's comment here reminded me of it because he said his cousin at the Chicago Comic Con got Rosario Dawson's autograph. And
Oh,
apparently she had said it was a
nice.
religious experience working on the show or something. So that reminded me,
Which
you had started Kenobi in stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Are
Yeah, yeah,
you have you
yeah.
moved on and have you continued that
Oh
or?
my gosh. No, we haven't. Chris and I just realized that the other day. We were thinking about something that we were gonna watch, and then oh, that's when we ended up settling on the worst option, which is, the Dresden Files TV
Oh,
series.
okay. Okay, yeah,
We
yeah.
were, like, kind of cycling through our shows of, like, "Oh, what have we started and haven't, uh, finished up yet?" And we were like, "Huh, we're, like, so close on Supernatural, we should really just, like, push through to the end. Oh, right, we started Kenobi, like, holy crap, we just, like, totally forgot about that." So and then we just, like, weren't quite feeling either of those, so then we ended up Chris was like, "I'm so curious, I have to watch this thing," and I was like,
Sure.
"Well, I'll grit my teeth and bear it."
Well,
But
yeah, I put a
now that
clip
he's
up of
watched a couple episodes, yeah, I gotta get back to Kenobi just to, like, see how it goes.
okay. All right. I just took a sip of this because the first time I just spilled most of it on myself. Second time I actually consumed some of this 1919 root beer. And it made me think for all the food and drink mass produced, very popular, widely available kinds of things, usually there is a uh bespoke or like smaller indie something that's better. If there's
Mm,
if there's a
sure,
cheeseburger and it's amazing from, you know, I don't know, from Shake Shack, you can usually get from some place what you consider a better burger
sure,
somewhere from some indie craft joint, or whatever.
sure.
I just feel like that's a lot of things. But root beer, 1919 is just really good. It's just really good. Like, and there are plenty of other good root beers too. And not that I've tried every craft root beer available,
Sure.
but I challenge you to find one that's actually meaningfully better than 1919.
You may want to challenge somebody else.
In general, I challenge
Okay.
all of everyone.
Was gonna say, I mean, I feel like we all know how Andrea and Dark Soda ends, and it's not good.
Yes. Yes,
Nah,
I
it's
was not
alright. I mean,
asking you
I
to
can
make yourself sick.
obviously
Yes.
I no, I can obviously have enough to, like, taste what, it would taste like, but
Mhm. Yeah, Alan
he
says
doesn't have to bring up my
Shells makes
weird
some good
allergies every
stuff.
time.
Renato says
Shells make
better than Spectre is. I think so, yes. But he's
I'm
never
not
heard of
surprised.
1919. Oh my gosh. It's not just a Midwest thing, is it?
It's
Maybe no.
own.
Well, he's
Well,
Chicago. That's
Chicago's
Midwest.
in the Midwest,
Yeah.
yeah.
Hmm. I don't know. All right. Well, anyways, that was an aside. Sorry. I for my week, I guess
You started a root
similar
beer war.
things. Yeah, yeah, I did, right? Yeah. Yep. The lines have been drawn in the sand. Teams have been chosen. Yeah, I did some of the same things, the solo leveling, the cliff, maybe meant to be boys, all that stuff, watch for the show and all that. Been reading a lot of other comics as well.
Yeah, I
Norse
saw that.
Mythology yet. So this one here, I've picked up the first four, and I didn't realize they're the first four of volume 3. So
Oh,
it's
whoopsie.
fine. It's fine. They're different, Norse tales
So
and stuff like that.
right, I was gonna say,
So
is there really, like, a through line, and does it matter, or is it just kind of
yeah, I
like
don't think
they're
so.
all interconnected and just, like, standalone stories?
I think each
You know what I
volume
mean?
matters. The way this is
Okay,
going so
okay.
far of volume 3, it seems like there'll be a through thread here or whatever.
But,
But
like, volume to
um,
volume doesn't matter so
yeah,
much?
I don't think so. So but I got some of these covers. I gotta have David Mack covers, so I think they're really cool. There's some variant
Yeah,
covers. And anyways, I did a little short review on the channel for it. Short of it is I'm enjoying it, and I picked
good.
up now volume 1 and 2 to actually like start over. And yeah, I just never get tired of those kinds of tales, and it's
Sure,
fun to see it told, or how they visualize it and each time. So
for sure.
yeah. Couple different animes. The My Stepmother's Daughter Is My Ex. Saw the first episode of that. That seems good.
Okay.
That one seems
Okay.
good so far. And then I tried the maid I hired recently as Mysterious because a lot of people were saying that's good, but I didn't really think that one seemed like it was worth continuing on. There was only one episode,
Bummer.
but to me it didn't. I don't know, didn't land.
Sure.
Zom 100. I read the first volume of that. That's a manga, and um, it's by the author of Alice in Borderland. If you've heard of that,
Oh, yeah,
there's a
okay.
Netflix show
Absolutely.
of it now
Yeah,
and some of that. Yeah, so it's the same creator there, and I'm enjoying it a lot. Even though I don't really care about new zombie stuff, it's still pulling me in.
sure.
So, and then I finally got in a little more of Horizon Forbidden West. So
Yay. Go get
yeah,
it.
hopefully get some more screenshots up um, of that and made some good progress in it. So yeah, that's been my week in entertainment mostly. Um, Anime stuff I did, and we'll lead into some anime news.
Yeah.
Crunchyroll slash Sony, we're kind of getting this. We had this weird consolidation thing going on in the video game space, and well, I don't know if it's weird, but it's happening. We're getting it now in the anime space, at least from one company. So Sony had bought Funimation, and then they bought Crunchyroll. That's all being merged together, Crunchyroll and Funimation.
Mhm.
And now they're buying Right Stuff, which
Right.
is a retailer, online retailer for anime
Mhm.
goods.
Mhm.
Out of left field
Yeah.
for me.
It's not a merger that makes natural sense. I mean, just because they're both, dealing with, like, anime doesn't mean, boy, this, like, goods and merchandise and streaming service should really pair up. I mean, there's obviously, like, some potential there to, like, do, like, some direct creation merchandising and things like that, if that's, like, if they're gonna keep their, products, like, in the sense of, like, Crunchyroll will still make anime and Right Stuff will still make merchandise, but I'm not really seeing the like, logic here or, like, the value add.
Mhm. Well,
Doesn't bother
what
me.
this
I just don't see
yeah,
it.
well, so it was weird to me because Crunchyroll has a storefront already. Funimation
Mhm,
did, Crunchyroll does, and Crunchyroll has I think a pretty good storefront. They have
mhm,
exclusive figures or shirts they get because they're well known. But so it seemed odd to me that they need to eat up Right Stuff when they seemingly would have their own foundation to build off.
right.
Right Stuff it must have been a great offer, I suppose. Some people are talking about so Right Stuff. They also had a lot of like erotica categories and stuff, and
Mhm,
that's going away. So it doesn't
mm,
fit Sony's image, so they're getting rid of that part. So a lot of people are like
mm.
that are would be buying that frequently or something like that are wondering, hey, what the heck?
Where's
I've
this going?
been a customer to write for Right Stuff for a long time, and now I'm gonna have to find somebody else for
Sure.
whatever. But
Well, or this, is the start of, we saw a lot of reactive, mini boutique, um, or just like smaller outfits kind of spawning out of gaming mergers. Who knows? This could be like some very finite and focused splinter off of, Right Stuff is like, okay, now we're just like this division. Here, come to us.
mhm.
I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, it'll be interesting if they keep the website around or if they fold it in and it just becomes Crunchyroll store or what
Right.
brand they think is stronger or how I don't know. Just in to see what they do here, but yeah, I know it's worried some people because it's not just like when you say erotica, it's not just like sex toys and stuff or whatever, which
Right.
I think is part of it, but also just like very mature anime and things.
Right.
Um and yeah, I don't know. The consolidation in the video game space, I don't mind so much because there's so much. There's so much there. In the anime, manga, all that stuff space, there's wasn't a lot to begin with exactly, you know, for video streaming providers or, shops and stuff like that that were, reputable and that kind of thing. So I don't know. I guess I'm not upset about it at this point, but we'll just see what happens. So,
Yeah.
sticking on the anime train here, Chainsaw Man. Oh
Hmm.
my gosh. If there's one thing I'm excited for this year, I think it's got to be Chainsaw Man.
It's
Um,
this, huh?
yeah, because I've wanted to read the manga a lot. I've thought about doing it, but I keep thinking maybe I just will wait for the show. So thus
Okay.
far, I've been waiting for the show. And the trailer, they just dropped a trailer 3 for it. It looks so cool.
If you can
It
find it.
looks it looks like the yeah, right, yeah, for whatever reason locked down, but um yeah, it looks like the manga. They feel like they got the art style right, and I don't know. What do you think of this trailer?
It looks like some crazy frenetic fun, to be real. Like I don't know anything about the story. I've never heard about the manga, so I don't know like faithfulness. I don't have any idea like who these people are, if they're looking right, if their journeys are seeming, even in this like minute and a half clip are seeming like on, but it looks like
Hmm.
fun.
Yeah.
Like gory, splashy, just like energetic fun.
Hmm. Yeah, I have kind of high hopes because Jujutsu, like there seems to be we're getting more access to um not shonen but seinen, so it's just a little bit older category. And so with Jujutsu Kaisen being done right now,
Right.
and I'm looking forward to whenever um was that Hell's Paradise whenever that comes out, but
Mhm.
in for right now, this is the one coming that I think yeah, I have
You're
just
excited?
don't let me down. Don't let me down, Mappa or whatever studio.
Yeah, yeah, the
So,
trailer looks amazing, so all for it. When is it?
yep.
October?
Yep, this October.
Okay. Yeah, not far
Yep.
away.
Nope. Let's see. I see it.
Obviously, the right
Renato
month
says
to release.
yes. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, it's going in October, Chainsaw Man. Well
Yeah.
done.
Mhm.
Well timed. Sorry, Renato
Um,
says, "What?"
well, he says yes. So I'm just wondering, like, if you've read Renato, if you've read Chainsaw Man at all,
Oh, yeah.
um, or if you're just looking forward to this as well in anime format. Um, but we got to switch over to some sad news that just broke today. Before we get into
That was crazy.
more stuff, so Olivia Newton-John has passed away at 73.
Yeah. That that I'm not gonna lie, I yelled at Chris from the other room. It was like, "What?" Like, did not see that coming in any way, shape, or form. That just I have no idea if there are any details or if anybody knows anything about what exactly happened, but obviously, you know, I mean, 73 isn't all that old. She didn't
Right.
seem to have any health concerns, so I think it was a
Well,
tremendous shock.
so I was reading this Variety article, and they mentioned that she has had a history of fighting with breast cancer. So, but they said she passed away, peacefully, in her home here. So, I don't know. I don't know if
Yeah.
that's the reason or what, but yeah. I mean, the world
Ugh,
obviously knows her from Greece.
right.
That's definitely my and
That's my
like
yeah,
that's one
it's my
role.
touchstone too.
Yeah, it's one role, but at the same time, it was kind of a big one. My
Yeah.
sister and I definitely listened to our parents' record of the Grease soundtrack a lot,
I mean, who
and then watched the
didn't?
movie
It's
too.
like it's such an iconic soundtrack, and I mean, Who in their lifetime has not, at one point or another, done Summer Lovin' on karaoke? I mean,
Well,
it's just
me,
it's
I
such a
haven't, no, but
shame, shame. It's such a karaoke staple. I feel like all people have just, just about done it, or like somebody's just like busted it out at a party somewhere
Mhm.
because it's such a good like shouting, singing, we're partying song. So,
Yeah. Yeah. I
well,
mean, I don't
we're
know.
gonna have to initiate you, John.
Ah.
Ah, I didn't say on
I
the air,
mean,
John.
yeah. I have wanted to go back to a Korean karaoke bar again sometime or whatever,
There
get
you
your own room and
go. There
stuff.
you go.
Yeah,
You don't even need to be good at
Renato
singing.
says
Like I said, you can just shout it. That's the beauty of it. You just like shout the
sure.
lyrics at each other and it's just like who cares?
Um, Renato says duet, and I'm terrified of a duet because at the Halloween party it was it was bad. I let my sister down. You too. I picked a song. And I was like, I am not holding up my end of this bargain. Like this is not going well. So
No, no.
yeah, I
This is
just
this is the
it's
perfect duet song. Like I said, you just shout it at each other at the top of your lungs. It's about the energy because you're supposed to be like
okay.
teenagers, just like telling a story. It's all
Mhm.
good.
My go-to karaoke song is "Y'all Want a Single" by Korn. That's
Nice.
my that's my go-to.
Very melodic.
Yeah. Well, anyways, Olivia Newton-John, sorry for the family's loss here. Everybody go ahead and watch your favorite film of hers. Pop in that Grease soundtrack again.
Mhm.
So, yeah.
Listen to one of her many albums. I mean,
Yeah, right.
there's a reason she was picked for Grease. She is a phenomenal singer.
Mhm. All right. The other big news, this one's going to probably preoccupy a little bit of time here. From the week was stuff going on with Warner Brothers Discovery.
Yeah.
So there was a conference call for like I don't know if it was an earnings call exactly, but I got to tune in to a bunch of it. Took
Mm.
a few notes from that, and they were just talking about this merger because we had all kinds of things going on, all sorts of shakeups before. AT&T owned Warner Brothers, Cartoon Network, HBO, just like a litany, DC of properties in the media landscape. When
Mhm.
AT&T really is a telecommunications company. So it was kind of an odd
Right.
thing. Well, they sold off a bunch of stuff. They sold this to Discovery. So now Warner Brothers, DC, HBO, all those things are under the umbrella of Discovery. And so it's Warner
Well, they're
Brothers
under the
Discovery.
umbrella. Yeah, yeah. WB
Yes.
Discovery.
Yep. So, and they're making the play for, to me, this is a fit that makes a lot more sense than with AT&T.
Mhm.
And they're really making a play to kind of cover all aspects of entertainment. And
Mhm.
I thought we learned some interesting things from from this meeting. First,
Mhm.
I'll just like throw it to you. Like, what do you? I know we've talked about this a little bit, but what do you think of in general? What you know of this merger and what you've heard, and like you think this is like a good move ultimately, and that kind of thing.
Sure, sure. Yeah, so I mean, we talked a little bit before, kind of more specifically relevant to like DC and the projects that are going on there. And now this is obviously a bit wider of a net. On the surface, everything makes sense to me in terms of what's going on here, except I was reading a little bit about this. I obviously couldn't tune into the call or didn't know it was happening or whatever, so I don't know what was said there. Um, there was talk about a major overhaul on HBO Max, and I wasn't exactly thrilled not knowing many of the details about that because I actually think HBO Max is finally finding its footing. Like there were definitely some missteps in the early days, and now I'm sort of like into HBO Max, so I'm not sure what that means. Um, and maybe it's good things, but of course, like my suspicious mind is sort of like, oh God, what's happening? Um, and of course, like personally, we just talked about the cancellation of one of our favorite shows on HBO Max, Raised by Wolves. So I'm not exactly like feeling that part is off on the right foot.
Sure.
So that's one of my initial reactions.
Hmm. Yeah, I if I had to guess, I think that, and to me, this is something they always already sort of remedied, but I think the reworking of HBO is two things. One, it seems like they're going to make less distinction between HBO, the channel, and HBO Max, the streaming subscription service. Um, we've talked about that before being confusing. Like, am I paying if I'm paying for HBO Go? Am I getting whatever So I think kind of consolidating those things, really making the HBO the streaming thing,
Mhm.
and then the other is the whole change up of not putting movies direct to the streaming service. One of the things brought up in the meeting was big budget films direct to streaming doesn't pan out. You may have
Yep,
we may have shorter streaming theater to streaming windows for select films, but
sure.
otherwise we're going to the theater. So
And I think
that was
everybody else is doing the same thing too, so that's not a surprising move. And
yep,
that's not something I'm terribly upset about.
yep. They're talking, so they're going to be, it sounds like merging the potentially the app as well. So right now, like we have Discovery Plus, the app, we've also have HBO Max, the app. This will seemingly go together, one big
Sure.
content pool, which I think will be a really enticing service because it does offer a lot of variety for a lot of people.
Yeah.
And Discovery, I think, I don't know what their financials have been like, but they seem to me to have been offering people what they're like, be aware of what their customers want and are
Mhm.
offering that. So let's see. They're looking at doing a no ad, an ad light, and an ad supported tier. So they want to go in a kind of a three-tier system here.
Sure. And are they all so here's my question. Are they all gonna be called the same thing? Because I don't need like HBO Go, HBO Max, and like HBO confusion here.
Yeah.
Do you know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
I just wanna know what the frick I paid for.
Mhm. I don't know what the brand is gonna be. I'm wondering if it'll be like WB Discovery Plus or just WB Discovery or
Mhm.
what the name of the thing, but I think it will be one thing like that. You pay for that depending and you pick your tier, and that's gonna then
Okay.
include everything. That's the way it seems to me because they just keep talking about consolidation, removing overlaps, and talking about the money they're gonna
Which is great.
save by removing those overlaps. Yep.
Yeah.
So
No, all for
I hope
that.
that
Like, make it easy for me, but just like if you're gonna have this three-tier system, it better be super clear
yeah.
what the hell I have.
Yeah, you don't wanna go to sign up and be like, "Okay, here's Discovery Plus, here's HBO Max, here's Warner WB Discovery Plus," and in each of you
Right.
can choose any one of those 3, and in any of those, you can choose a different ad level
Right.
or what like,
Like,
it could be
I don't want none of
confusing. It
that.
needs to be one thing. So,
Yes.
let's see. So, yeah, services combining. The other big stuff that's relevant here is so they changed the name. It's already happened. They're making changes fast. They changed the name from DCcomics.com to DC.com. They removed
Mhm.
the comics part.
Mhm.
Um, so it seems they don't have there's not a big emphasis for them on the comic book side of things, but they
Right.
are very adamant that they have a lot of great IP and they definitely want to protect and preserve the DC brand. They mentioned that a couple
Okay.
times. So they're very interested in and have a lot of confidence in the DC brand, but it seems like that's not a lot of confidence in the medium of comic books is
Right.
what it seems.
Ugh, this is one of those things again where I'm worried about this like word phrasing. because protecting the DC brand to me sounds like endless reboots of Batman and Superman forever and all of time. Like, I don't know that protecting the DC brand means like we're really just gonna like leave Batman alone right now and like go do somebody else. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. And maybe I'm just reading too far into it, but protecting the DC brand, like show me what that actually means and show me that it's
Yeah.
not, endless reboots of the same content, which not gonna lie, with other news that we have later on that I'm not thrilled about, does not make me happy.
Yeah, well, I mean, so we're, I guess I'm sort of burying the lead here, but the big stuff coming out of this that's been all
Yeah.
the craze and the controversy and stuff has been about what has been left in and removed from the DC lineup and
Mhm.
some of that. So the big one is the Batgirl movie, which is about a 70
Yeah.
$90 million project, which I guess originally started as a streaming film, was then moved to a theatrical kind of film, has been axed. That one, because that one is gone. Because if you said there was a lot of shows canceled, Raised by Wolves
Mhm.
canceled, uh, Batgirl's getting canceled as well.
Mhm.
So that was
I'm
sort
not
of
happy
like the
about that.
biggest news. No,
Yeah, I'm gonna straight up say I'm not happy about it. Um, I mean, Michael Keaton was gonna return as Batman. Like, I don't get to see that. I'm pissed. I want to see that. I mean, I know that's not the
well,
focus of the movie, but I was really excited about it. It was gonna be really cool. I'm telling you. Like, I haven't seen a lick of footage, but Michael Keaton returning was gonna be cool. So I'm pissed about it. I'm also kind of like I don't know, half curious as to why this decision was made because this movie was like about to be released.
yeah. Well, they said they
Like
saved.
they weren't like short in the process. It wasn't just like we have a cast and we're just doing table reads and we're just building a set. It's
Right.
like no, we were like done and gonna release later this year.
Yeah.
So
So there's a couple interesting quotes and stuff like that, and I don't have the number in front of me specifically, but they had mentioned how it seemed like they're essentially using this movie as a tax write off in a way, because they said they saved about 100 and I want to say it was like 120 million dollars in not putting this movie out,
hmm,
which is surprising. But it's all the marketing, it's the paying the actors the extra, if it does a certain
yeah,
amount, all those sort of things, theater deals, all that. So they're being pretty harsh on, like we're doing this stuff to cut money, because allegedly there was a conversation about Clint Eastwood's last movie, and
sure.
Call Comancho or something like that, I think, and Cry Comancho maybe, and they they were saying, well, why did you greenlight this movie when you seem to think it wasn't probably going to make any money? And the sentiment was, well, it seemed like we owed Clint Eastwood, he's worked with us a lot or whatever. And it's like, no, that kind of thing is not happening here anymore. We're not doing this. You make something because even if it's not going to make money because you're friends with someone or we owe them or something like that. So
Okay. So they're
they're
drawing
going
a hard
hard.
line. So
Yeah.
here's my question then. Why are we not getting a flash cancellation?
Yes. So other lines to go along with this. They said, let's see. So there's a focus. We're having a focus on quality and will not release a movie before it's ready. They said we have exciting movies like Black Adam and The Flash coming, then, and we think we can make them even better. That was an interesting part. We have exciting movies coming, and we think we can make them even better. So that was really, really interesting to me. But
Well,
yeah, there's
that
definitely
makes
a
yeah, that makes me nervous on all kinds of levels. Like that makes me nervous that like maybe Black Adam, which I want to do really well, isn't maybe living up to potential. I mean, if they have to push it out to like make it better, whatever, I'll still go see it either way. Like, do what you got to do. I hope it's great. For the Flash, that seems to me like you're willing to keep investing something that I don't think is going to have a return. Like,
Mm,
does anybody care about Ezra Miller? Does anybody, like, I don't know, maybe there's, like, super fans out there who are, like, super pumped about this, but, like, I don't know, after just, like, all of his headlines and problems and, like, just wacky stuff that's happening in his personal life, I just don't know that, like, Ezra Miller is a name that's gonna draw me to go see the Flash movie.
right.
And I think it's
Well,
a pretty risky gamble to sink money into that, especially because who knows if your star is gonna be able to do the PR tour.
mhm.
We just found another headline about him.
Yes. So those things. Ezra Miller has been charged with felony burglary in Vermont, taking several bottles of alcohol from an unoccupied residence. So that just happened. And there's now a story out. This is courtesy of Looper, I guess. Ezra Miller proved to be the true terror on the set of Stephen King's The Stand. Fellow cast members saying that he would act erratic and spit on people, tell offensive jokes about marginalized groups. I don't, none of this is substantiated, but nonetheless, it's another thing
It's
to
hard
stack.
to really feel any force behind, like, this is so untrue when you've just, like, read a lot of other headlines. Now, that doesn't mean everything is automatically true, but it is hard when things seem to pile up on one another to
Yeah.
believe that it's, not.
Mhm. So what I've heard from people that say they have inside sources is that
Mhm,
the Flash movie is pretty darn good, and it's a fun movie to watch. That does have Michael Keaton in it as well, so you'll see
mhm,
Batman back in that form there. I think I can't remember if Supergirl is supposed to be in this too, and supposedly she was pretty
mm,
awesome in there. So it sounds like of they don't want to get rid of this one because it's actually good. And if it's what they say, with it being a Flashpoint thing, they want to do a reset. They said they've hit a reset on DC. They've got one of
mhm,
the people that helped Kevin Feige set up the MCU. He
mhm.
left, Alan Horn. He left and is now with them
Sure.
to do a 10-year plan. I think that plan includes using Flash to reset everything because
Mhm.
it's their multiverse thing. Flashpoint is all about like going back in time and stuff like that. So I feel like they're going to use this to do their hard reset. So that probably
Sure.
means Ezra Miller's gone after this. That probably means a lot of people are gone after this, but this is their reset button, and it's a way to kind of do it in universe. That's my guess.
Sure. It just seems like a gamble to me on a company who's saying, like, we don't want to make, movies that nobody's going to go see, or like spend money that, we don't have. We're because I mean, one of their things here is obviously cost savings. Like, they're trimming
Yep.
everywhere, which I get. Um, but I mean, if the movie is really good but nobody goes to see it, is the movie still really good?
Right. But they're playing the long game. And if you play the long
I
game,
get it.
even
I
if
get
not
it.
many
It's
people
a
see this one,
it's
yeah,
a
then
gamble.
it's
It
yeah.
totally is. But I'm just saying, like, just be aware that, like, it is a gamble. You
Mhm.
know what I mean?
Mhm. Yep.
So, yeah, so you can, like, say one thing about one movie and say a different thing about another, but, like, I don't know.
Yep.
Just it's
And
not quite, if you wanna use that logic, it's not quite lining up to me, but
yep.
I obviously am making no decisions over there at Warner Brothers Discovery, so
Well, the other thing that's not lining up for me is because there's talk going around. It's always like he said, she said about what's good or what's not. And some people are saying that Batgirl was terrible, and others are saying that it was good. And some people are saying that it was just as good as Black Adam. And Black Adam, these are based on test screenings. So
right. Means,
um,
like, I have no
so
idea, like, where I should reference this,
I
like,
know, yeah,
I
yes,
mean,
I
Black
know.
Adam's good or bad, or, like, I
Right.
don't
I know. And I mean, look, we can't really trust him because all is just it's like, it's Grace Randolph and it's different people that have contacts inside and people that said they've seen test
sure.
screenings. And so it's all hearsay, at this point.
Sure.
So
Yeah,
And
yeah, it's hard to be sure of anything. I mean, obviously, the only one that I feel like everybody was sure of this year was Top Gun Maverick, which like literally every person I think that came out of those test screenings was like, it's amazing. It's gonna do so good. And then it did.
yep.
That's
Hmm.
the only one I've ever been like, okay, well, clearly like every person who's writing anything about this is just raving. So
Yep. Yep. Well, this new combined service is supposed to start rolling out in North America summer of 2023. They're
we
hoping
got
to
a
have
while.
150 plus million subscribers by 2025. Um, yeah, and that's kind of a lot of the big things. I have some like graphics here of some of their brands and franchises, and you can really see that it is they cover a lot of
Yeah.
things. I mean, they're Friends and Big Bang Theory, Sex in
Yeah.
the City for like on the TV side of things, it's a
Yeah.
lot. So,
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, they clearly have some big hitting power here, and some big draws. It'll just be like, what are they going to do with it all, and what do they do moving forward? I mean, obviously, some of this stuff that's on here is old. I mean, on the TV side of it, like, are you going to do anything more with Friends? Are you going to do anything more with The Big Bang Theory?
mm,
Probably not. So, like, those are like your safe, like, you know, franchises that are core there. On the other hand, like, your franchises up there that you have, Batman, Wonder Woman, Superman, Game of Thrones, like, that's potentially new content that they're taking a gamble on. So,
yeah,
it'll be interesting to see what they do with it all.
yep, yep. Um, all right. Well, the last little bit of stuff related while we're talking about the content that they're going to be producing.
Ugh,
The thing you most wanted to happen is happening.
ugh,
So, of all the
ugh, I
things
hate
getting
it.
the
I
axe,
hate it.
what's not getting the axe, it seems, is the next Joker movie,
I hate it.
also co-starring Lady Gaga.
I hate it. And it's literally
You're gonna
nothing
love it.
against I'm not gonna love it. It's literally nothing against Lady Gaga or Joaquin Phoenix. Like, they are amazing actors. They've proven to be both amazing actors and great musical talent. I mean, I know I'm stating the obvious when it comes to Lady Gaga, but Joaquin Phoenix also.
Yep.
That said, do I think a Joker the musical movie should be made? No, I do not think this should be made. And do I think that this crazy mixed up DC universe needs another Harley Quinn? No, I do not. So why? Why? Again, like, you could pick any character for her to be. Make her be another character, please. I'm so sick of like the same people, especially when I already have like watched somebody do this character in present, real, recent time and do it well. Like, I don't need it.
Well, I have to say, technically, we don't know that she is going to be Harley Quinn. But I think if they announce that she's gonna be in the film and they don't say, and then later they come out and say it's not gonna be Harley Quinn, I think you're gonna have a lot of people like, "What the heck? We were sold
Yeah.
this other
Yeah.
thing," you know? I
It's
mean, you'd be
implied,
happy
I
then,
feel
right?
like.
But
I would. I mean, I still wouldn't be like thrilled about the concept of a Joker musical, just because I really can't wrap my brain around it. But I would be happier that I wouldn't have to be like, so what continuity universe are we even operating in right now? Like, who is Harley Quinn right now? I like to know who's where, when, what, you know,
uh-huh.
and I like clear delineations of like, if this is a Joker thing, we're making a movie right now about like, I don't know, a time long, long ago or whatever. We're not pretending it's in the present moment. So
Well,
I don't like
yeah.
the competing because now in my brain, if it's not like a specified time frame or if it's not like clearly something different, it's hard to wrap my brain around the fact that like a Joker movie is being made in the same time instance where we just had the Batman released with a very young Joker.
Right.
So it's hard to wrap my brain around those two things, like coexisting and yet somehow not touching each other.
Well, maybe they'll use a flashpoint to just
Maybe.
wipe it all, or maybe
Although,
they'll use it to bring these things in. They're gonna. I don't
true,
know.
but they got to be careful about that. It's not a fix all. And as we've seen with like Marvel's attempt to deal with the multiverse, you can't just like be like, it's the multiverse and
Right.
everybody's like on board. You have to use it very sparingly and in the right instances to not just like wipe away all your mistakes or just like
Yeah.
explain away the random shit that you're doing.
Yep.
So I will give them some grace if they're doing like Flashpoint. We're gonna, use it to do a thing. Great. You just can't like always come back to it.
Yep. Yeah. No, I think they're.
That's my ranty rant.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll see what the future holds for Warner Brothers Discovery and
Indeed.
DC Comics and the like. Until then, we have a different kind of comic to discuss. Some manhwa via Webtoons format, app, service, whatever. The Cliff. We've been talking about The
Mm,
Cliff. We will be getting spoilery about it. If this is something that you're interested in reading, be warned.
mhm,
It is very short. The Cliff, again, available on the Webtoons app, is we're covering episodes 7 through 9, which is the finale.
mhm.
Um, I read these quick today, and then I thought, boy, I should have gone back and read the other ones probably to make it, you know, click a little better because it does feel like something that should almost be read in one sitting.
Yeah.
Um, what did you think coming away from this with the finale now?
Uh, I thought the finale couple of episodes had some really good twists and turns. It definitely left me hanging as to kind of the fate of our characters, some plot points, but in like a I can accept that this won't be resolved kind of way, not like a there's obviously moments where you're just like, wait, this doesn't even make sense. Like how did X ever happen? They were all, I felt like, good cliffhangers that were leaving me being like, "Oh, that's so good. That's so interesting. That's so crazy." So, I really liked the ending of this series. Um, Even though again the panels were short, I felt that they weren't actually trying to do as much as the earlier ones, and so I didn't feel the shortness in the same way.
Okay.
So,
So,
I liked the ending a lot better than the beginning or the middle.
sure. Now, did I understand it correctly in that the person that interviewed him was his friend's brother, which he did
Yes.
not know?
Yes.
And
So that's
right.
that's my assumption as well, but it's not confirmed. It's not
Right.
totally, we're totally sure about that.
He could just been saying he was his brother. But
Right.
I don't know
Right.
why you'd have necessarily the animosity enough then to go ahead and
Or I mean,
bring him back out
just
there.
like could be one of those weird like personality quirks where I mean that's his job is to like interview people about their experiences. He heard the full story and was just like, I'm gonna get revenge for this guy. Like,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
are an awful person. You know what I mean? Like some weird sense of
Mm.
justice that was just like, I'm gonna get you. I don't know. People dress up and, go be vigilantes in superhero movies and they don't have like personal stakes all the time. So who knows? But yes, I took it as he was
Mhm.
Gongsu's brother. I think that's his name.
Yeah, we don't yeah, there is a lot that's not really said explicitly, even the death of his friend, we don't see a body. We don't know about
Or
a body
do
being
we?
recovered, right?
Or do we or don't we? Like,
I think
was
he's
that
imagining
so?
that.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know. It was good. Whatever it was, if it was a figment of his imagination, if his friend was still like stuck there, or if that was his corpse, just like, you know what I mean? Like that was his
Yeah.
position. Whatever way that is, that was great. I did not see that coming.
And how harsh throw the candy bar and a thing. So that's the last thing you see before you get booted off the edge, Spartan kicked off the edge.
Right? Oof. Yeah, and then that, like, should I eat it? Did he poison it? Like, did he poison it? I don't know.
Yep. Yep.
So, yeah,
So
this was a lot of fun, and then I thought the very, very, like, cliffhangery ending, where we have the letter that's being posted or delivered, I wasn't quite sure, but it has COD on it, and I was like, "Is this a certificate of death? Like, are we supposed to take it that Jungkook died?"
yeah,
Or, like, was somebody just, like, planning to have him die and, like, nobody's going up there to find him?
right. Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I liked that. I thought all the, like, all the things in these last couple of episodes were just really great. Good storytelling.
Yep. Yep. Yeah, it's just something that I think my biggest complaint is that unlike other things, this one doesn't fit the Webtoons format well.
It doesn't. You are
It
right.
should be sold in a, small manga thing or something. That's, the way it should be distributed.
I agree. I agree with that. Yeah.
So,
Scrolling through the webtoon format was not yeah, it wasn't ideal. And I don't think that the webtoon like vertical format served it in storytelling. I mean,
yep.
the author clearly knew where the good breaks are, but you can do that with any kind of format.
Yep.
So
Yep.
that wasn't
Yep.
like this format specific.
Yep. All right, to the next manhwa in a very different tone and maybe meant to be. This one I got Ashley reading it now. She's a lot further than me. I want to just keep reading, but
Yep.
you know, so we got 7 through 9 that we've covered now in this one. And the
So
honeymoon's
I'm gonna
over.
yeah, I'm gonna jump in and ask you about your reactions because your notes are so brief. They're like two or one words. And I want to know what you're
Yeah.
talking about here.
I want to know what I'm talking about.
I was like,
Some of
what?
it's like
What is
this
this?
being sad. It's sort of like I think that was with Minchiol, that was very like we're getting a little bit more of his past and then how she ghosted him.
Oh
How she
yeah.
was getting to
Yeah.
the point where she just was thought that she needed to be at a certain age and I can't have friends with boys now or something. I can't be friends with boys.
Right.
And so
Right.
just not returning the calls and how he remembered this stuff. And then with his weirdness took things to heart. Like he wasn't, oh, I thought you didn't like to be called, weird,
Yeah.
weird assumptions.
Right.
So
Right.
yeah, that was sad.
But probably, yeah, I agree with you. It's kind of sadly self-protective. He probably, on some level can't
Yeah.
admit to himself that like she ghosted him and she was just caving to peer pressure of like, oh, I don't want to be teased, so I'm just gonna like not hang out with him anymore. Um, and then yeah, he just sort of interprets as, "Oh, maybe she just doesn't like to be called." Yeah, I those panels were really sad.
Yep.
I mean, I get it. Kids are dumb. It's hard at certain ages. Not impossible, but it is hard, to avoid falling victim to that kind of like desire to not be teased about your friendships with the opposite sex or whatever, or kind of anything. So,
Yep.
yeah.
Um, yeah, we get to see more of like how they communicate or don't, and the clashing personalities. I'm waiting for you to come home and eat and let's drink, but he doesn't drink, and they're just so different, radically different.
Yeah.
Um, she
I
steals his
hope
glasses and teases him.
Yeah. I hope speaking on the cooking thing, I hope she learns how to cook because if you don't like a chicken protein shake, then go make something, girl. Like, do you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
that he doesn't have any incentive really to change. So,
Yeah.
and you don't have to drink a chicken protein shake if you don't want to.
Yep.
Just go learn to cook, especially if she's not going to have a job, like you have time to do it.
Yep. Yeah, Renato's in all caps chicken protein shake. That's right. Drink it down.
Drink
Good
it
for all
down.
times of the day. I feel like if this story is done well, it's going to be a good tale of, two people just making each other better, learning to compromise, and it could be a lot of fun. Keep interspersing the moments where they like see each other as more than like contractual obligations. We actually don't know if Minchiol sees her this way yet or not. If we've had that
Right.
at all, but we
Right. What
know
they call
we
Gia.
because we see it from her eyes. Yeah, we get that every
Mhm.
once in a while where yeah, he takes off his glasses, he's right over her and stuff, and so whoa, I see you in a different light. So
Yep.
those kinds of
Yep.
moments.
Getting the heart flutters.
Yeah.
I wanna go back to your point about, I agree with the fact that this webtoon, if done well, could be about two people thrown together, making each other better. I feel like I've gotten some steps from Minchiel. I need at least one from Gia
Hmm.
because we've seen her internal trying to be better, and I
Yes.
totally get that and support it, but she needs to like show it. There was a moment, where she was like, "I'm gonna tell Minchiel I'm sorry. Like I went too far. I got drunk. Like I stole your glasses. It wasn't cool." And then she chickens out by meowing
Yeah.
because she
Yep.
just can't make herself, for some reason, say I'm sorry. And
Mhm.
fine, it's hard, but like, he's trying. Like he saw that you weren't happy about his chicken shakes, so he got you the chicken feet. He
Yep.
was like making a gesture. He wanted to talk to you about the issues. So yeah.
Yep.
So I just feel like I need parallel character growth now. But I think if that happens, you're right. This will be continue to be really good.
Yep. Yep. I agree. So yeah, I'm excited for continuing on.
Mhm.
Um, I
Yep,
thought we were gonna catch up
they're
soon, but it seems like they were releasing fast. I don't know, is
yeah, they're
17
still
of
yeah,
them or
I
something?
still I still have a lot of unread and I thought I was getting close to knocking it down. Um But yeah, it's cute. I love that they're still doing some kind of very like tropey classic things. Like now in these next episodes, his boss decides like, well, you haven't really told me about your marriage, so we're gonna have a housewarming party for you. Like,
Yeah.
and we're gonna like put you on the spot. So now they have to come up with like a cover story and they're gonna have to act all lovey dovey or at least,
Yeah.
friendly
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
with each other in front of his coworkers. So there's going to be like some situational thrown together. So
Mhm.
could be fun.
Yeah, there's some of that in Spy Family that was a lot of fun, so I look
Hmm.
forward to that same kinda thing here for sure.
Yep.
So all right. Well, that's been our weekly Webtoons, The Cliff, and maybe meant to be. The
Hmm.
Cliff is all wrapped up and maybe meant to be continues. Possibly next week we add in solo leveling. So we'll see. Let us know if you're enjoying this segment.
Yes, please.
Um, the Boys. So we're gonna get spoilery now about The Boys season 3, episodes 5 and 6. Taking these 2 episodes at a time. The next time we do this will be the finale, so we're getting there, but we're on 5 and 6 now. So again, spoiler warning for these 2 episodes and everything that has come before in The Boys.
Hmm.
So, um, it's interesting that you had actually mentioned the other week that you were kind of interested in reading the comic this was based
Hmm.
upon, and Ashley had said that too. Actually, so we've got the volume 1 omnibus on its way
Oh,
for
nice.
this. So we'll see what Ashley will probably read that before me. So we'll see what she thinks of it.
Yeah,
So
I'd love to know.
yeah. All right, episode 5.
Hmm.
What'd you think?
Oh man. I mean, I like just watched this and I'm still like, what? There was a lot happening in these two episodes, which is good. I'm glad that we're moving forward in some major plot points, but yeah. So we're coming off a huge moment where we've just met Soldier Boy for the first time in Russia, found out he potentially has a superpower that takes away superpowers from others, and we're getting it confirmed in this episode as everybody's still kind of freaking out about Kimiko, and the injury she sustained from him, and the fact that like maybe her powers are gone forever temporarily. We're not sure. So
Right.
that was kind of a scramble to catch back up with at the beginning there. Um, and I felt like the opening was disjointed actually in a really great way. Like the team was all disjointed. Like MM was just like watching the news, just pissed. Frenchie's with Kimiko trying to like, you know, hope that whatever slapdash care they've given her so far is holding her together. Butcher's like, we need a plan. Huey's just like heaving his guts out. Like everybody's just all over the place in a mess. And I really felt like that was very metaphorical for where the boys are at right now.
Sure. Yeah. I was telling Ashley about this today. It's like, I don't know if you feel this way at all or not, but I never am excited to watch The Boys. Like I literally watch The Boys because we're watching on this show.
Okay.
Then I watch the episode and I inevitably get drawn in. So like there clearly is
Totally.
a
Okay.
quality that they have where I'm
Yeah.
not excited to watch this. I have to make myself to do it. But when I do sit down and watch it, I'm like, okay, there's always something compelling to like
Yes.
make me invest.
Yes. No, I totally agree with that. Because Chris actually suggested the other day that we watch The Boys, and I was like, feeling that. Um, Totally feel that, what you're saying. Like, it's
Mhm.
really hard to just be like, "We're gonna watch The Boys now." Like, I'm
Mhm.
excited to sit down and do it, and then, yeah, once we start, there's something compelling, magnetic, there's just something so outlandish that, like, I'm just drawn into commenting or, like, I have to say something, and then Chris and I start, like, a back and forth, and then there's an energy.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a very strange show that way, where once you've
Yeah.
started, you need to watch it because something crazy is happening
Mhm.
or something that you
Like,
have an opinion about.
mhm. I don't know I don't know, maybe it's like the weight of the world allegories, or maybe it's the like
Sure.
how gross some things are that just make me not like again, we got more octopus sex. I'm just like, oh God dang
Oh
it. I
god,
don't want to see
Chris
this.
totally called it. Chris totally called it. I was like, "No," and he totally was.
Oh, Renato
Oh,
says love
gee.
sausage. Yeah, MM opening the
Love
closet, just like
sausage.
boosh. Just oh
Yeah.
my God. Like I'm not
Yeah,
asking for this.
poor MM and his jacket, man. That was a nice jacket. I get
Yeah,
why he's pissed.
I know, right? So, yeah, Renato says we gunfight after after said it's a struggle to watch sometimes or whatever, or to start it up. Um, yeah,
Well,
I don't
and
know.
I think it's certain beats too. There have been, I think, storylines where I was more invested because I didn't feel like we were gonna go to that crazy, gross place. And I think season 3 has had just like some extra stuff. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, by now, if you haven't heard about it, sorry, it's in the first episode. The giant penis that like everybody was talking about. Do you know what I mean?
Hmm.
Like everyone was like, "Oh,
Exploding on a
that
penis.
scene, that scene, that scene," and I was like, "Oh my god, I don't know if I even want to start this.
Hmm.
Like, I don't know if I want to see that scene." And then of course, like things happened where I was just like, "Oh, it's so good," and like fine, like we had a small character climbing inside a penis and exploding out, but I got past it because other things were so good. And
Yeah.
sometimes I worry that like the other things aren't going to offset the gross weirdness,
Yeah. Right.
like
Yep.
hero-gasm that was happening here. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. Was things gonna offset that? Did I really need to see, a camera that was in a toilet taking people taking shots of people's butts? Like, I
Yeah.
don't know that I did.
Yeah. No,
Luckily there were other things that were worth it, but yeah, man, sometimes you're just like, "Oh, I don't know if I wanna see that."
my fear is two things. One is right, all that gross that doesn't really add anything for me, you know.
Mhm.
It's just they're gonna always try to up themselves
Yeah,
constantly, and it's just gonna be this shock value kind of thing. Game of Thrones was criticized of this, like trying to put in sex things for shock value and like just to draw people in with that, just
right,
not being necessary. And
right.
whatever, however we
Make it
feel about that
shocking, but make it make
individually,
sense. Yeah,
right?
make it shocking, but make it make sense. That's all.
Mhm. And the second thing is like, and I was wondering if I had missed this and it's always been this way, or if it's just like more noticeable now and more spoken about. But is this, it used to be to me that they would be a little more intelligent with their um comparisons to real world, to their allegories and stuff. In this season in particular, it seems we're just like lifting things and putting them in
Yes,
here. So we're
I agree with
taking, so
you.
we talked about before the soda ad, literally just like plop in this and here we had the singing uh
Oh my
the
god.
song,
Yeah.
the celebrity singing the
Imagine.
song.
Yeah,
Yeah. And and like these things can be funny, but it's not original. And
right.
we're not taking instead of taking something and making it in this world, we're just moving it in now. You know,
Yeah,
names of things, organizations, people, as opposed to like creating a made up one and then letting people draw comparisons where they feel it makes people think. You're just
right,
dropping in things
right,
from the real world. And to me, it takes away some of its thought-provoking nature, and
right.
they're just
If you don't
going
have to
for a
think
kind
about
of,
it.
yeah, right.
Yeah. I agree that now that the especially like the Imagine song was in here, I really thought the Pepsi ad correlation with A-Train's like soul drink or energy soul whatever was funny. It was very
Mhm.
funny because it was so like it's a shot for shot remake. Oh my god, that's hilarious and like oh my god, it's still so bad. I totally forgot about this. But then, like, doing the Imagine song on top of that, like, you couldn't even pick a different song. Like, I don't care if you, like, poke fun
Right.
at that because it's, like, a funny moment where we're like, "Oh my god, remember when that happened? Oh, that was so cringe." But, like, at least, like, try to cover it up with, like, something a little different.
Yep.
Because yeah, if I just, like, am immediately drawing the parallel because it's the exact same thing, what do I have to think about then? I can just be like,
Yep.
"Oh, that's that happening. That's this person. That's a character." Like, good. I am, at the skill level of a 6-year-old. I can identify things,
Yep.
but I'm not
Yep.
making any like interesting like conclusions or interesting thought processes by just watching the same thing that I see in the real world.
Yep. Yep. And Renato says he looks at the show as a kind of holding a mirror to us, and I understand that,
Yeah.
but that mirror doesn't have to be. It can be a funny mirror, it can be a warpy mirror. It doesn't have to be, you know, a mirror accurate. Because, yeah, just
Or again, like, pick and choose smaller things. I mean, I think
yeah,
there's a lot of mirroring happening at a lot of levels, and it does become overwhelming to just feel like like, the creative story is getting maybe a little bit subsumed by the fact that we are just mirroring reality.
right,
Because, like, the thing that's going on with Soldier Boy is really interesting to me, um, and, like, the storyline of, like, you know, him and Homelander and like who's the OG, who's like the upgrade or like the sad sequel or like this fight, like, you know, the Butcher and Huey versus like Starlight and MM that's coming out of like how far do you go if you're, doing what you think is right or even if you're just
yeah,
trying to get revenge, if you're trying to work out some demons, if you're trying to, make somebody confront their own wrongdoings. Like these questions are all really interesting, but yeah, they're getting a little bit subsumed by direct analogs to events that are currently happening.
I'll agree with that. Yep. Um, the other thing I think that maybe, I guess there's a third thing, I suppose, is
Mm.
I don't like almost anyone. I like Kimiko and Frenchie. I like them a lot, even though I want to see this. Frenchie is a pet thing go away and be resolved, you know? Like, you're
Yeah, it
always
was fun at
subservient
first.
to yeah, it's like it's looking sad now, too pathetic.
Yeah. Yep,
So
I
he
agree.
needs to like
I agree.
fix that, you know? Needs to be
Little
a
little Nina was a character I thought was gonna be really fun, and I'm kind of turning out to be disappointed by. Um, like, I thought, her past with Frenchie was gonna be maybe a little bit more mysterious or, just a little bit more push and pull rather than her just being like, you're a little yeah, like you're a little pet who follows its owner everywhere, and you're
yeah.
so sad and pathetic, and you like what I do to you. I really thought, like, her and Butcher were maybe gonna, like, go at each other in some
Yeah.
fashion or, like, maybe have sex with each other. I don't know, the way they were
Yep.
talking, I was very interested to see how that was gonna play out, and then the show took, like, a hard right on her character and Butcher's. So,
Yep.
yeah.
Yep.
Sorry, I, like,
Uh,
co-opted your point there. Keep going.
no, no. No, it's just I like those 2, you know, and,
Mhm.
Renata brings up MM, and,
I love MM.
MM has been until I think this season the one of the characters, like the touchstone. He's able to keep his cool. He's been logical a lot of the time. He's been the voice of reason a lot. And in this season, he hasn't. Now, I understand they're trying to make that because he's like personally, emotionally invested now. It's making him really stupid. And so, I mean, he wants to fist fight now with um what's his name?
Soldier
With
Boy.
Soldier Boy. What are you gonna do here? What are you doing here? He's not thinking anymore. Um,
Yeah,
yeah,
I don't know. I agree that that isn't a smart decision, but he clearly feels it's what's necessary to address the trauma that's kind of ruled his life. And I
right.
mean, maybe he deserved the chance to do something. I mean, something more than throw like a gas grenade or a gas bomb or whatever it was at Soldier Boy. Which was, even though I don't love Soldier, well, I kind of love Soldier Boy. I don't know, back and forth, love hate. Was a cool moment when he just like inhales it, blows it out. It's like, oh,
Yes,
halogen.
yes,
Dang, that was cool.
that's cool.
Um,
Yep.
but yeah, I mean, maybe he deserves the chance to just like say, you know what? I faced him and I said the thing I wanted to say, and even if he punched me so hard, all my teeth fell out. Maybe he doesn't have his like OCD anymore. Maybe he's
Sure.
not afraid. Maybe he doesn't wake up at night. Maybe he can spend time with his daughter because, he doesn't have to go out and say, like, I have to, do this thing and that thing to make sure Soldier Boy doesn't come kill my family. I don't know. I think that was one of the things I actually got frustrated with these last couple of episodes was people making decisions for other people and trying to protect them.
Mm. Well,
Like
Huey,
Butcher was just yeah, Butcher was to stay on MM for just a second, Butcher completely just, like, shut down anything that MM wanted to do and just was like, "It's for your own good." Maybe
right.
so, maybe not. Like, kinda feels like Butcher maybe sort of halfway was like, "It's sort of for your own good," and also, like, "I really just want him to kill Homelander."
Mhm.
Huey, very obviously making choices for Starlight and being like, I have to save you, I have to protect you, like, I need to do these things, was clearly all about him, nothing about her.
Yep.
So
And
that
I
recurrent theme,
understand.
I was just like, ugh.
Mhm. And I understand the way Huey feels, but if that is the way you feel and you can't handle that dynamic, then you can't be in that relationship. You know, if
Hmm.
you can't handle that sort of power dynamic or whatever, where yeah, you're going to be in these dangerous situations and your girlfriend's going to be saving you all the time. If you can't handle that, then you got to face up to that and move on, you know? Like the relationship isn't for you then. It's not fitting.
Right,
So,
right.
cuz otherwise it just
Well,
looks really
and
bad. Like you can just like face it or you just look really pathetic.
right. Yeah, I was very disappointed in Huey. I mean, his character just seems to be falling further and further this season out of likability, or in some cases reasonability, because he's very, very obsessed with this idea of saving Annie and like, I don't know, evening out the score. And I'm just sort of
Yeah.
like, maybe you need to take a beat and figure that out. Maybe it's like some trauma that you haven't addressed with your old girlfriend who got killed by A Train. And I mean, that piece was kind of nice to see brought back in these couple of
Yeah.
episodes where Huey did get a chance to like face off and tell A Train, like, listen, you never said you were sorry. Like, your apology, your statement, it was all bullshit. And A Train shocked the hell out of me by actually saying sorry.
Yeah.
Like, he grew and he was like, this happened to me. I get it now in a way that I didn't before. And I was shitty and I was wrong.
Yeah.
And Huey
That
just
was
like
very
couldn't,
surprising
yeah, Huey just couldn't even deal with that. Couldn't even accept that little like moment. Had to punch him in the face.
because he didn't really want that anymore. Like
Nope, he
because
didn't.
he is over it now. He's just tired of feeling weak, which
Yep.
I get. If anyone had the offer to have the superpowers thrown in front of you, a lot of people are going to take it because a lot of people are feeling over their normal lives without superheroes being present, powerless in their own life. So they're going to take it
Yeah.
to feel now. If you change your normal person's life and you do have superheroes all over the place, and maybe you know them and you're intertwined with them a lot, that's a tough thing to deal with, for sure. It's so I get it, and people can have their moments of weakness for sure.
Yeah.
But if you want to have a character that have interest in and we like, they need to be moments of weakness, not like massive character flaws. It's like if
Right.
someone is, a fit person, triathlon, whatever, and then they become paralyzed or something. That's incredibly difficult to deal with. Obviously, your life has changed now. You now have so much less power over normal daily things that you did before. And so people are going to handle that differently. And some people are going to handle that well, at least publicly facing, and others are going to have a lot harder time. And so I think the same kind of thing can be said here for someone that feels disabled constantly around everyone and useless. And so I get these things, but again, they need to be moments of weakness, not giant character flaws. And we need to overcome these things or and grow. And that could happen. But in the meantime, I'm experiencing an entire season where I don't like this character. Um,
Right. Yeah, it's hard because it feels that he was just sort of forgetting that the rest of the boys, I mean, we're just going to set aside Butcher also taking temporary leave for just a minute here. The rest of the boys are also just people, and yet they don't walk around feeling powerless. They feel that they can do something. Now, are they frustrated? Do they want things to move quicker than the speed that they're able to do them? Are they, you know, wishing that they had tools to, take the fight to the soups and make things more fair more often. Obviously, and that's what we're dealing with this season by the fact that they have access now to a tool that they feel can like level the playing field. But the one of the nice things about Butcher taking V is he isn't like walking around like I need this because I'm helpless. Like he's
right.
never felt that he's helpless. He wants things to move quicker, he wants them to happen, like, he's itching to see, obviously, Homelander in the ground, but one of the nice things about his character is that he's never, like, walked around just being like, "Oh, like, I can't do anything," because he clearly
Yeah.
thinks he can, and he makes it happen. So,
Yep.
Huey could, like, take a beat and think about the fact that, like, with the boys, he has accomplished a lot and just, like, chill out on the, "I'm helpless and I lose all the time."
Yeah. Yeah. I That's the other thing that's kind of made this show, it's diminished a little bit in a way, is that this show is about a group of normal people managing to, trying to cull the superhero population, trying to deal with superhuman people. And now we have two of them plus Kimiko, really. So three that were superpower.
Kimiko the
Well,
question mark.
right. Yep.
Kimiko the question
But
mark now.
mhm. So two people at this point
Yeah.
that are superpowered as well. So it kind of goes against the message of, overcoming. It's no longer like David versus Goliath. It's not that kind of story anymore. The uphill battle of like the normal person against the god or whatever. It's we're leveling the playing field. So it kind of goes against to me what the whole idea of the show is, because you had to use such intelligence. Some of those best moments were when, because it is fascinating to see how normal people overcome the superheroes. You know, Giancarlo Esposito, being the head honcho and like putting Homelander in his place was always fun to see. The way that I don't remember her name now, but in the first season, the woman that he was obsessed with that was really running the
Oh my
company.
god, the vice president, yeah.
Yeah. Like
Yeah.
the way she used that and manipulated him and
Yep.
like all that stuff is what humans, normal people have to use to have power over these superheroes. And now this season, we're kind of saying, well, no, the power to have over these superheroes is just more power of superheroes, because even the secret weapon isn't a weapon, it's another superhero.
Right.
So it's still fun
Yeah,
to see. It just is diminishing of the point of the show.
yeah. I get what you're saying. Yeah, it's hard because I definitely agree with the fact that like it's tough that there isn't a weapon that kills Homelander. It's Soldier Boy, though I think his addition to the show is a very like, holding a mirror up to Homelander and like kind of like checking himself. And Homelander's always been so confident in his power. Like everybody's been afraid of his power. Like what does happen if there's a superhero out there who can take him?
Yeah.
So that is at least an interesting piece. I'm interested to see Homelander in the next episode because he did just get a beat down. Like, will that change him? Will we see him scared? Like, what will happen? That'll be interesting. We've seen like challenges to his personality, but we've never seen challenges to his like superhero power. So it's at least an interesting dynamic. Now, coupled with the fact that we have Huey and Butcher also taking V and like leveling the playing field, that being kind of the focus of the storyline and moving away from regular humans can affect change and solve problems and go up against soups in a meaningful way. I agree. I agree, especially because we have two members of the boys who this is happening to. If this was one member, and all the rest of the boys were like gathered up to be like, listen, it's intervention time. You can't do this. Look at all we've done before. Like, we can do it again. You don't need this. That would be a different story to me and probably a more compelling one.
Hmm.
Um, I think it would probably, I don't know. It's hard for me to say, like, whether that should then be like Huey or if it should be Butcher because I don't feel like Butcher would need that talk. I think Huey would, but I also still think it would make him very annoying, so I don't need Huey being more annoying.
Right.
I don't know. I don't know. There's no good character to choose there, but I guess
Well,
if you had to like pin me down, I thought the first instance of Butcher taking V was very interesting.
right. Yeah.
I'm
Well,
disappointed
it's
with
more
its
interesting
continued
for
use, but
it's
yeah.
kind of more interesting for his character too, because he's the one that's so like all soups need to die. So I
Well,
think
and
that's
he's
kind of
still
more
like all
interesting.
soups need to
Right.
die.
So it's kind
He
of
like
a
says it while he's drinking with Maeve, who just
yeah.
brought him more temporary bean. He's like,
Mhm.
"Sorry, you gotta die too. Bye. Like, I'm not gonna do it
Mhm.
right now, but eventually, you got a number,
Which is an interesting turn of events as well, because we now don't know where Maeve is. She may be dead.
right?
I don't think she is, but maybe.
Some
And
people,
then it's we don't have our heroes don't have a new source of V. Maeve was the source
right,
of V. So now the temporary V
right,
really is, because when they run out, they run out. So
right.
it puts a
Butcher's gonna
timeline on this.
really use it judiciously, and I wonder if
Yeah.
that's gonna cause friction, being like, "Nope, we're gonna save it for me to use because Huey
Yeah.
clearly can't handle it," and then that's gonna be
Hmm. Hmm.
some
Yeah.
friction there.
It's also like what are the odds that Butcher, when he takes V and he gets his powers, that it's he can stand up against Homelander? Like, how
Yeah,
many heroes are there? None of them, almost none of them. Like, the one is Soldier Boy. Everybody else is like, you don't stand a chance. Stormfront was very powerful,
right.
but even still, so like there are potential competitors, but mostly no. So the fact that Butcher can go and then like trade blows with Homelander is surprising. And have like, it's like he could have had any power, and
Right.
he just happens to be really strong.
Well, it begs the question, how does temporary V work? Because both Butcher and Huey got stronger, clearly. I
Hmm.
mean, Huey punches A Train and A Train's like, "How did you do that? That's
Yep.
crazy." So clearly they both got strength, but like why and how did Butcher also get crazy laser eyes, but Huey got teleporting by
Hmm.
clenching his butt cheeks? Oh my god, that detail. That was actually really funny. I was like, "Oh, so unnecessary, but so great that he just was like,
Hmm.
"Oh, I just knew to instinctively clench my butt cheeks and go." Like, thank you, writers. I needed that.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, I mean, does do you get like a core, like, 24-hour indestructibility and strength, and then it's just like a crapshoot on what else you get? And does it like react to something inside you that makes, Huey get the teleport and Butcher get the laser eyes? Or is it like, I don't know.
That's what
Did
I figured.
like
It
if
interacts
Huey
with your own DNA, and like
okay.
you
I
have
was like,
your
if Huey concentrated hard enough, could he do laser
it's
eyes? If Butcher concentrated, could he teleport? Or is
to
it
me it's like
no.
X-Men, you hit puberty and go through stress, and you if you have that gene in you, your
Sure.
powers come out, and that power varies depending on who you are, and
Sure. It's just
that's the way
interesting
I
that
see
there's like
BB.
a yeah, it's just interesting that there's like a core similarity and then like
Yeah.
one thing that varies, and like you said, it's just, of course, Butcher happens to get, "Hey, I also get laser eyes."
Mhm. Mhm.
So,
So, I'm hoping for because I enjoy this fight, but I'm hoping for a much bigger, crazier eventual confrontation. Um,
yeah, it was a good first, like, things are happening, like, we're getting a team up on Homelander. He actually is very scared, but yeah, it's obviously not our epic finale.
mhm. I just would have liked, like watching MMA now. A lot of times people kind of, they just and everything. Do Dragon Ball too. Everybody kind of like sizes each other up a little bit. Like take a moment. Like I would have liked a moment longer to breathe in this situation and like appreciate the conflict that's about to happen and the uncertainty of who is stronger here. Homelander is supremely confident, but like his predecessor was Soldier Boy. Like to relish that. Instead, we kind of like got into it quick, like stood in the pocket, traded blows, and we cut away really quick and had a conversation with I forget who it was. If it was MM and Butcher at that point, or who the conversation was with.
Yeah, we
Um,
rotated between MM and Butcher and Annie and Huey.
yeah. So it's just like in the background now, this epic fight that's not really that epic yet is going on. I wanted more appreciation for that moment because I've kind of been waiting for a moment where someone that we think might stand a chance against Homelander is
Shows
there.
up.
And
Yeah.
yeah. So um, but yeah. But it was fun nonetheless. Um, Renato asks if we have read any of the comics, and no, we haven't. But like I said, I do
Sadly.
have Omnibus Volume One on its way. So,
Yeah. Looking to fix that.
let's see. Do we have anything else to say? We've covered a lot of the characters. It's kind of the big things to go over. Oh, yeah, some of those things were funny. Again, we didn't, to me, need to have this like real world thing, but this is where it can pay off, like with Soldier Boy talking about Bill Cosby.
No.
Like, that was funny, but
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
but
he had a couple of, real good, like, I don't have, the current reference for this, where he's like, "Ah,
Yeah.
Bill Cosby." And then he was like, "Ah, you know who's cool? Liberty. She could party back in the day." And you were like, because Liberty is
Liberty.
Stormfronts name.
Oh,
Yeah, he
yeah,
was
I
like,
didn't know
"Ah, she could party. She was some fun." And everybody's like, "I don't know how to tell you this."
that. Yeah.
So we did have some good in-world and outworld, poor
Yep.
references.
Um, I see the your mention of the Gollum Schmeagol moment. That was good.
Yes.
I like that.
Homelander just like giving himself a little weird pep talk, and then yeah, it was very
Hmm.
this these two episodes had a couple of different like references for me that was just like, ooh, this is very like this movie also, but it works here. And I
Hmm.
thought that was one thing that worked.
And I think this is what you're referencing, because I think I notated it too. Um, I Ashley's character, the character of Ashley in this is so awful, and I basically
Ugh,
never liked
yeah,
her.
yeah.
But I did want to applaud. I really liked her little smackdown against A Train. That was good. A good
Yes.
moment for her.
Yes.
So
Yeah, it was a good sort of establishment of her just, again, like a regular vanilla human just being like, "Listen, I'm going to tell you some shit
right,
and you're not automatically right." Um was A Train right for wanting to do something about Blue Hawk? Hell yeah. But also, she's like, you can't just like do the right thing when it's convenient for you and remember
right.
your own like follies. Like living in a glass house, probably shouldn't throw stones. So yeah,
Yep.
that moment was really excellent. And I think these two episodes, I still hate A Train, but I kind of am enjoying his growth also, and I kind of like him, but sometimes he's still a douchebag. I don't know. He flips all over the place, and I kind of like that he's like a normal human that way. Like nobody just has
Mm.
good and bad, good or bad moments. Everybody has good moments, bad moments, moments where they're all full of righteous anger, and somebody's like, "Hey, remember your very human mistake that you made?" And you're like, "Ooh, yeah." So
I think that's part of like the other thing is like I want to like more of the heroes, or at least enjoy watching them. And right now, I enjoy watching Homelander and Soldier Boy. Maeve, but she wasn't in it much. You
yeah,
know.
I was gonna say I
Mm,
really enjoyed Maeve's journey. I didn't love her weird like non-sobriety bloop and sex with Butcher. That was a pairing that just sort of was like,
yeah.
what?
I mean, I got it, but at the same time, I don't like that for her that she fell off the wagon.
Right, me neither. And I don't really know that like them sleeping together was anything that I cared about. Do you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I would have been interested to see Butcher sleep with like little Nina cuz like that's weird and crazy and like they've got a weird energy. This was definitely like we are colleagues working together. There was no in previous episodes I caught no sexual
Right.
tension at all. So there was no build up to this. It just happened.
Right.
Not really loving it. But I do have in here I love Maeve just throwing caution to the wind when Homelander comes to speak to her. She kind of has like an Olenna Tyrell moment where she's just like, okay, like if you're here to kill me and like try to do something to me, I'm going to tell you exactly how I feel and how I felt, and this was me behind the scenes all along.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
good for her on that moment. I mean, I feel like that's not, truly her Olenna Tyrell moment in the fact that I don't feel like she's dead, but I loved the speech and I love the standing up to Homelander.
Yep.
So
Well, and
more Maeve,
then
please.
what's that?
More Maeve, please, if she's
Right.
alive.
Yes. And then I should definitely say, I am happy with how this ended here, because I think this is the right move by Starlight. Like this is the power play you
Mm,
need to do.
yeah.
You take advantage of your following, and you out everything online, because
Yep.
that's what gives you protection. It's the secrecy and stuff. Like you can be taken out without without much of a thought by someone. But when you're out there talking about the dangers, revealing people, and you have people's ear and trust, this is the right strategy, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, I was really getting sick of people telling Starlight, like, don't test me, you can't win. Every time she tries to like use her powers and go up in a fight, and like
Mm,
Homelander's like, "Pff, no." And then Victoria Newman was like, no. So I was like, I really need Starlight to do something. And this was a power move I didn't see coming. And I liked it.
yep.
I thought she was gonna I honestly, when she started, I thought she was having release the flight footage.
Oh,
Um, I thought that's why.
she doesn't have that, does she? Does she
She
have that?
she and Maeve
Maybe.
she and Maeve do, so I don't know
Okay.
who exactly
Yeah.
had it, you know what I mean? So
Yep.
I thought that was the power move there.
Hmm.
And then it turned out she was like live broadcasting. So yeah,
Yep.
that was cool. That was very cool.
Yep. All right.
Just because I have to round out my film references,
Hmm.
uh Butcher and Homelander going laser eyes to laser eyes was very like, I've seen this before. Like Harry and Voldemort like dueling wands, and
I mean,
I just
Goku and
watched Iron
Vegeta.
I just watched Iron Man 2. It was on TV, and I saw like Iron Man and War Machine do a little like, power source to power source to take
Hmm.
out an enemy. So I was very like, oh boy, this is very tropey right now. It's
You
very,
almost
very
have to, right?
cliche.
I mean, it
Yeah,
would
I
be
mean,
their thing to
they
like
were
just
they were
miss. You
gonna,
just right past each other and
right?
blast, right? That'd be the
I mean, in
yeah.
a weird way, it was very like, penis measuring, like, I'll test my laser eyes against your laser eyes. Like mine are more power. You know what I mean? It was very like somehow very them and very childish, but
Hmm.
also, reminded me of these other kind of like
I've
dueling
never
forces.
tried to test to see if my penis is more powerful than um
Well, if
yeah.
it shoots lasers, I mean, you might
Yeah.
want to
Yeah.
try.
Yeah. Yeah, Alan posts this GIF. I see your Schwartz is as big as mine. Yes. The space balls. That's amazing.
Ah, yes. And that was very this scene. I mean,
Right.
I knew it was coming, obviously. And it felt right for Butcher to do because he's such a child like that. But yeah,
Yep.
at the same time, I was also like, I've seen this.
Yep. Yep. All right. Well, that's been The Boys season 3, episode 5 and 6. I say next time we'll be covering the final 2 episodes of the season. So stick with us for that. Renato, thank you for being in the chat and contributing. Much appreciated. Otherwise, that'll do from us. That's Popcast on the Rocks, episode 115. You should follow us on Instagram, not Instagram. Let's see, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. Take your favorite podcast directory, Spotify, Apple, whatever. Follow us, subscribe there. Please leave a review, be much appreciated. Our theme song is written by Killing the Flower. You can find them on Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook, and Spotify. I don't think they're on Facebook. I'm getting them all mixed up. Go to the social things, the socially things. You'll find us there.
Search our names.
Yep. They will appear. All right. Andrea, thanks for
Mhm.
joining me once again.
Of course. As always, cheers.
Water cheers.